Now, I know that you sort of, I don't know, discovered or creating sort of a teaching out of this that's called the three minds framework. Would you
Yes,
mind going through what that is?
sure. So after this experience and integrating this experience, which is still happening, not that it's complete, but as this has continued, I found that I needed a language to talk about this, right? And I didn't the language that I had heard growing up, or the different kinds of language I'd heard, didn't satisfy me, right? It didn't feel like it's exactly what I wanted to say. So what I did is just speak about it in terms of how I saw it and what I experienced. And that is this. It is namely saying that what we see as the world, including the physical world, the earth, the solar system, the galaxy, is not fundamentally a physical thing, but it is a form of consciousness, right? And the best example is the dream, that when you have a dream, while you are in the dream, you know that everything in that dream is physical, right? You can stub your toe on a brick and the toe will bruise and it will bleed, right? You can hammer a nail and hit the hammer on your nail and you'll have a lot of pain, right? You can be nestled in bed and feel like the soft, warm comforter that keeps you feeling very nice on your skin. And all of these are physical. And in that dream, if you conduct an experiment and you call a bunch of philosophers to the table and you call a bunch of scientists to the table and we try to discuss what all of this is, most people are going to say, yes, this is physical world, and then there are thoughts, and that is the mental world, and these connect this way and that, and there'll be all kinds of opinions, and they will all be 100% right. That's important to understand from that view of reality. But when you wake up from that dream, you will understand crystal clear, with zero doubt, you will understand everything those scientists and philosophers were trying to say. Because you will see that that which is surely 100% physical from one view of reality becomes absolutely 100% mental when you wake up to another view of reality. And the Three Minds framework essentially says that the universe is consciousness, and that consciousness is fundamental, and that which we call mind are individual minds, and that which we call the physical world and physical reality is simply, we can say, crystallizing versions and forms of conscious processes, exactly as it happens in a dream. I'm not saying this is a dream per se. I'm simply saying that the mechanisms at play are the same as that of a dream. So that's the foundation. So what are the three minds then? The three minds are three different views of this reality, right? So it starts uncompromisingly. It doesn't end at what I said. It starts with what I said. It starts by saying the world is consciousness, the universe is consciousness, the cosmos is consciousness. Now, here's why it looks differently to different perspectives. The first mind view of the three minds, the first mind is essentially the experience that what I am is a local individual. In other words, the sense of consciousness, the sense of being conscious, the sense of who I am and what I am is local. It's here in a particular place. It's with a body. It's in the chest, or it's in the head, or it's close to the body. Basically, it's localized in a particular place. And what the Three Minds framework says is that if this experience is there, if a being experiences themselves as being localized in a place, in a distinct location, then what they will see is a world of distinct things. Okay, so I want to make that clear. If I feel that I have a boundary around me and this boundary defines me, whether it's the boundary of my personal body, whether it's the boundary of my personal mind, meaning my personality, my likes, my dislikes, and so forth, if I can define some kind of boundary that defines me, Anoop, what I am, who I am, then because of that, I will refract a world of boundaries and I will see a world of multiplicity in things around me. Like I will see a camera in front of me, a laptop in front of me, a tree in front of me. I will see a cloud. I will see individual particles and so on. Infinite multiplicity. Why? Because the boundary that I take myself to be is reflected in this infinite consciousness. It's reflected and it appears as this world. It's like light goes into a prism and you see its many colors refracted out, right? In exactly the same way, when identity is taken to be bounded, it refracts through this prism of identity, and we see this space-time world of multiplicity. That's the first mind view. That is the standard view in our Earth culture, and that is a standard view from which most of science operates, right? And quantum science is starting to question that, which is why they talk about the relationship between the observer and the observed, and where that line is from where we can divide the observer and the observed. These are all questions that quantum science calls into view, and it is questioning, in fact, whether the world is a local thing or not. This is the first mind view. The second mind view is the experience that what I am fundamentally is non-local. It is not that I, whatever this thing is that we call I, it is not that I is a localized thing or is in a particular place. No, in fact, what this I fundamentally is not in space and time, but it is the nature of this I, it is the expression of this I that becomes that vast mind that is the topography of space and time. This is the second mind view. In the second mind view, the local worlds are still accessible and visible, right? So the personality, the body, the characters still engage in the world and still are a part of the world. However, the awareness, the vision, the knowledge, the identity is not rooted in that world, right? It sprouts in that world, it expresses through that world, but it's not rooted in that world. And so the second mind view is the view of the non-local, or the view of infinity, through which the finite experiences, including worlds, are experienced. This is the second mind view. The third mind view then is simply that of undifferentiated consciousness, or we can say pure potential as potential. So it is the essential nature of all. Prior to its rustling, prior to its heaving as the universes, the worlds, the world of space and time. So what we have here is one and the same consciousness seen at three different levels in accordance with the kind of identity that is crystallizing. And in the first mind view, we simply say, well, I'm here, you're there, here's a world, there are only limited resources. We have to figure out where to get that from so we can make this work. And basically the entire boundary, the entire context in which this world exists is totally not seen, just as it happens in a dream often. When we're in the dream, we have the resources of that dream, but we don't see that the dream is being created by unlimited resource. Anything can show up in that dream, right? Anything can show up in that dream. But in the dream, we don't know that. We believe that the dream is a closed system. And that is that first mind view that is propagated throughout education and culture today.
That is a very helpful framework, beautifully put, and it makes so much sense. So, if you had a magic wand and you could help all of humanity, how could you help them sort of move into the second mind view of seeing so much more of who we are?
Yeah, well, I feel like I do have a magic wand, and I feel like you have a magic wand, and we all have magic wands, and we're doing it, talking about this and being able to tell a story about this is so gratifying to me. It's so, it feels like what more can I do? I feel so much gratitude that I can tell this story of what the world is and what the universe is, and just make it a story that's available to everyone. So everybody's like, whoa, that would be crazy if that were the case. And you know what? It doesn't violate anything that you're taught. I don't ask anybody to believe anything. I just say anything that you've learned in the world can fit here. It just says that that's not all that's happening, right? And you actually get more power and vision and ability and capacity by saying, okay, I accept that, but there is a more here. That means it's directly related to who I am and what I am and how I see myself. So to me, this is the magic wand.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.